All right, so this is session 17 of Dagger Core Investigations, LLC. It's been a while since we've met, so I'm going to go ahead and do the recap. In general terms, Solana and Sharp were infected with lycanthropy due to an encounter in the Hyber's Gate, which eventually led to the group finding a potential artifact that can help address the lycanthropy, since there is no known cure. In the process of doing that, Sharp, through some intervention, possibly from his dead wife, possibly from just the power that he has within himself the whole time, managed to suppress the curse of the lycanthropy for him and Silhana. While you guys worked on that plan, you found the mask in the museum of the Church of the Silver Flame in Hightower, I want to say, which is right next door to Oak Bridge. And you went to steal it. Things mostly went without a hitch. Dag ended up breaking his hands very badly, but saved the rest of the group from catastrophe. And then Jofar, as Morar, went to hack into Flamebearer Lance Hardwood. That's a sentence. And it would have killed him were it not for the intervention of Sharp's quick thinking and trying to dull the blade. Unfortunately,
I would have said he went to beat Lance Hardwood.
Yes, either works, but that one's definitely better. Unfortunately, a dull axe is still a dangerous axe, and so rather than killing Lance Hardwood, it left him crippled. And you guys managed to escape from the church in different ways. Jofar managed to use his spider climb to go on the church and run, and use his feather tokens to float down most of the way to safe landing, but then ended up falling the rest of the way, but miraculously caught some tarps that mostly broke his fall. Sharp had his own little adventure trying to get away, although I forgot the specifics of that one.
I know that I was tagged with some sort of magical tracking goo, and that I wound up sort of running back to the original Dagger Core headquarters and was hiding out there till I was certain that the goo had worn off. And then the next morning I went back.
Yes, that's right. And then you guys, once everything had settled, Solana used the mask first and wore it overnight as she slept. And so you guys think it worked, and then Sharp put it on, and then he fell into a deep coma and did not wake for quite some time. But the mask was like really hot against his skin, so hot that if anybody tried to touch it, it would burn them. So you guys weren't able to take it off. But strangely, it hasn't been burning Sharp skin, at least not that you can see. And then you guys went to House Jurasco, where Dag's contacts were able to help him get some discounted healing to address his hands, which is going to require multiple treatments to fix, but they will eventually get most of their functioning back. And then you guys met up with Hamarath, a dwarven artificer that lives in the area with his family, who is interested in joining up with the crew. And when we left off, you guys were using some of your downtime while Sharp remained in his coma, trying to address your individual affairs as best you could while keeping an eye on Sharp. So with Dag going around carousing, trying to get information, with Jofar returning to his apartment and his mother to make sure that things were smoothed out for him to basically move to Oakbridge in the Sparkling Alchemist. And then Solana had an extended conversation with, what is that dude's name? Sharp, your context name is Hogswoggle?
I should remember it. Where would I put it? I'm sure it's not Hogswoggle. I'm just trying to figure out where I wrote it down on this sheet.
It could be Hogswoggle. Hogswoggle.
Hurlo.
Right, Hurlothrombo.
Yeah. Which you guys also went to see Hurlo to try and understand what was happening to Sharp, why he was in the coma. And he basically said, no. But he did provide some background into the history of the mask.
Just take the rest.
And the lycanthropic purge and what he knows of lycanthropy. Solana stayed behind because she was curious about the religions of the Church of the Silver Flame and the Sovereign Host. And he assured her that mostly he knows about the politics of those organizations, less about the religion, but he would give her what information he could. And then she was also going to go about trying to furnish your new digs at the Sparkling Alchemist, which is probably going to be renamed. So you guys are now, it is the 9th of Olaroon, and the weather today is, as you wake up, it is a nice about 60 degrees, but it is storming outside with winds gusting to almost 50 miles an hour, dark storm clouds ahead. So you guys start your day. At this point, Sharp is still not quite woken up from his coma yet.
Is 50 mile an hour, like, is that unusual? Is that unusual weather for this area and this time of year?
No.
Okay.
So you guys are back at the Sparkling Alchemist after having done your various downtime things.
Do you think if we took Sharp outside, maybe the mask would cool off and then we could pull it off while it was in the rain? Come on, Sharp, let's go outside. Let's try.
At this point, Dag, your hands have been healed, by the way. You're still feeling some pain as you move your fingers and everything. You mostly have your dexterity intact, but there's like significant scars. As you move your hands, your fingers, sometimes you'll hear them crackle and pop, and there is occasional pain.
I'll get used to it. As long as I can still do what I need to do. Hey, lock the door. Let me see if I can pick it again. I can see him slam the door. Lock. Wait a minute. So I'll practice my lock picking skills on the front door.
Okay. Why don't you go ahead and give me a
Yeah.
lock-picking roll? Let's see how your hands are holding up.
And also, let's see if a guard happens to wander by.
Great.
Joe Farr's like, never seen him before.
Leave any graffiti?
25. Oh, yeah. Well, it's always easier on your own door.
Yep. So that's a confidence boost right there. With that was very quick. Even if a guard had gone by, it wouldn't have been any different from you just having a key to unlock your door.
So come on out, Sharp. Let's see if we can get that mask off. Oh, maybe
I
we should go
assume
up.
I'm in a coma.
Oh, are you still? Is he still asleep?
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's even better. Let's drag him outside. Let's drag him to the roof.
So Hammerath is walking towards. You see him hooded figure, which is Hammerath with a cloak, kind of heads down as the wind's kind of swirling around, and he sees Dag he just picked and opened the front door. Ah, I see your hands are back in order.
Yeah, I was able to get that door open pretty easily, but like it's always easier on your own door.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure there's plenty of opportunity.
Blustery day. Come on in.
So, Declan is Sharp is out. Do I see Joe Farr, or Solana, or Cass anywhere? Or is it just us?
Good question. So Solana is not yet back. She's out on an errand right now. She was able to procure some furniture for the Sparkling Alchemist, so it's not everything isn't completely trash. However, there's still some repairs that need to be done to kind of make things safer around here, as well as more habitable and comfortable. For example, there's still some leaky spots on the roof, which right now you guys are using pails to kind of keep the water from just, ruining the floor worse than it already is ruined. Although with how bad it's pouring right now, you have to swap those buckets somewhat regularly. Yeah.
The 50-mile-an-hour winds are doing wonders for the roof.
Yeah.
Well, flat roofs always leak.
So Dag is there, Hammerath, you're there, Sharp is in the coma, Cass is not there, and he hasn't really made an appearance since you guys left him in Kyber's Gate.
Dag is like positioning Sharp under one of the leaks.
That's right. And it's
Yeah.
That's a good idea. That might wake him up. Let's see.
That's how comas work.
Yeah, waterboarding.
Joe Farr, are you back?
Yeah, you said we have leaks or it's leaking?
Yeah.
So it's coming through I would assume the roof?
Yeah.
Okay.
So let's drag him underneath one of these leaks and see what happens. Maybe we can get that mask to cool off enough we can pull it off. I might ask that you guys do it. Maybe we should put some cloth around our hands before we do it.
Did the mask burn? I don't recall from last session. Like, or was there like a problem with touching?
It's hot
too
to
hot
touch.
to touch right now.
Right, yeah. It'll burn. It'll burn you pretty good. Kind of like touching a pan of boiling water. But Sharp's skin doesn't appear to be burned or blistering or anything like that. And you could see a little bit of his skin through the eye holes as well, and it doesn't appear like it's under there it's any different.
It's a good
So
idea.
I would assume there's like a second floor or third floor to this place.
There is a second floor, yes.
Okay, so Joe Farr is up near. He's on the second floor, traipsing around.
I wish I had some sort of cooling agent on me, but
You do. You have a bucket of water full of rainwater.
a more
Come on, let's try it.
more sophisticated cooling agent.
Well, we could sop some cloth.
You're an artificer. Make something.
So I guess I would just take a bucket of water and just dump it on his face.
Okay. Interesting little tidbit. So as you go up to get one of those buckets of water, you see Joe Farr emerging from one of the rooms, and as you walk up the stairs, you see that the leaks they're not all gone, but there's fewer leaks. And in one of the buckets that you go and grab, there's no longer water coming down into the bucket. It's about 3/4 full.
Now, in fairness, I think that's what the other guy that was what he was doing in his downtime, wasn't it? Fixing up the place.
Getting furniture and
Yeah.
trying to find some kind of contractor. Though, if you guys want to keep on the down low, now would not necessarily be a good time
Right.
to get some people in that you don't know working on the place.
Part of the plan was Sharp is proficient with carpenter's tools, so he was going to fix some of the things up.
And there is that one stair that Dag fell through at one point. I think that was Dag.
Maybe.
One of the stairs broke under somebody's weight.
So is Sharp? You said he's in a coma.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's been. So you guys, I believe you guys were able to get everything taken care of in the end of Zarentar with the heist and everything, and it's now going into the second week of Oleron, the next month.
Okay.
So how long have I been in a coma?
A couple weeks.
So I assume nothing happens when we put some water on the mask.
Other than it sizzling and having, that one cool effect where it vaporizes the liquid on the bottom, and so it's like jumping around.
Yeah, I can see Dag just. Oh, this is fun. Yeah, sitting on his chest.
So I'd look around, and I would try to find a kind of like like a hanger or some sort of wire.
Okay.
Long enough, like a pretty good length, and I would spend some time imbuing this wire or this kind of thicker wire with like a chill sensation that makes it chill to the touch.
Okay.
And then I would fasten it around the mask, so it kind of keeps the edges, like it kind of wraps it.
Kind of like a heat sink.
Yeah. I imagine like chill. It's chill means it gets pretty cold, not like freezing, but seeing if that would thinking that might help kind of cool things off a little bit.
Okay.
At least until it breaks, and then we can fashion another one.
All right. Give me a spellcaster check just to see how well this works.
24.
Okay. So yeah, you're able to get it to the exact kind of temperature that you want it to be, and it will, as far as you can tell, it is successfully drawing some heat out of the mask. But you also know from your magical examination of the mask that there's something within it that is within that's producing this heat, kind of like an ectothermic or a exothermic reaction of some sort.
Well, I suppose we could. Do we know anyone who might have a better idea of how to take this mask off, or at least?
Well, we keep asking his buddy at the school, but I don't know if he has any direct experience with it. He was kind of surprised that we want to go after it. I can never remember the names.
Erlo Thromo from Wargrave University.
Well,
It's an idea. It might just be that it's stuck there until he comes out of his coma. It comes out of his sleep. I don't know if Dag would know what a coma is. Oh, maybe we should give him some alcohol. He always seems to like alcohol.
does the mask have like an open mouth, or is
Yes.
Okay.
It's got eyes. It's got spots for nostrils, and then it's got like a square space for a mouth. And other than that, it's plain silver. No other features or anything.
And it's held on with like a leather strap, right?
Yes, it does have a leather strap.
I suppose we could always. I mean, your hands look pretty well healed. We could always take him to whoever did you up.
Mm.
They got to be pretty.
I'm a little hesitant to even take him out of the building.
Has Sharp made any response, like move his hands or anything? Like, is
Is his chest moving so he's breathing?
He is breathing. You guys have checked his vitals previously. I think that was Solana that did that. And he seems to be healthy, doesn't appear to have any kind of source of injury or anything. He's not responsive to any kind of outside stimuli. You guys have tried, unstrapping the leather to pull the face mask off, although it is firmly affixed to his face even without the strap. And you guys have also tried like putting your fingernails underneath the mask and trying to like get things underneath, but there's not. It's almost like it's kind of melded to his skin, so there isn't really anything to put anything underneath to try and pry the mask off.
I thought it was going to be like taking off like a cast where you find like all the bits of things people were trying to scratch with.
Oh, I had a really bad experience with that. I broke my ankle once, and I got one of those wire hangers to use as a scratching thing, and I felt like, oh shit, I think I cut myself.
Oh no.
So it was like, all right, well, I know how to deal with this. I'll just pour some hydrogen peroxide down my cast. It didn't work well. I had to get the cast off and redone.
Wow. Well, guys, I don't know what to do. Just let them deal with it, or just lay there.
But I think we either make a house call for a house doctor to maybe see if he'll come here if we can't bring him out. Or
Gotta be one we really trust.
do you trust the guy who fixed your or girl
Well,
fixed your hands?
He's a reputable doctor, but I don't know if I want to, I don't trust him to point to show him something illegal.
It's fair. Then perhaps we send for this fellow at the university that you guys knew. He may have some extra clues about what can be done at this state.
You see Joe Farr lean down and whisper something at Sharp, and then he just kind of stands back up.
So I would almost say a cleric, but we can't go back to the church. Remove curse? Can some magic-y type thing?
Can we get a scroll remove curse?
So remove curse, that's a 3rd level spell, right?
Right.
Yeah, so those are rarer and more difficult to come by.
They don't have a curse. They don't have like a scroll vending machine we can go and just drop some Galifar in and
Not yet. They're working on it though, I'm
okay,
sure.
Good. Yeah, it's a brilliant idea.
It's coming from the desk.
Yeah. Yeah, 1st level spells and cantrips are definitely fairly prevalent. 2nd level spells, you can find them pretty easy. 3rd level spells are when things start to get tricky.
I, at that point, start to stir and say, Hurlo wouldn't know anything about this. You could always just let the mask do whatever the magic is supposed to do. Why is my face wet?
What? Sharp! You're talking!
And I assume I'm in a bed, that I'm not just like laying on the floor or something.
Oh, you're probably on the floor, right next to a drip.
That's probably true because this place doesn't really have beds.
Yeah. I just kind of pictured you on the middle of the floor, like maybe in a corner.
It's been properly swept.
So at this point, I would reach up and try to take the mask off.
Careful, it's hot.
So Sharp, you are able to take the mask off fine. It doesn't
What?
appear to burn Sharp in any way.
Magic.
You're so talented.
Astounding.
I'm really glad you're okay. I'm. Do you think are you cured of your condition?
To be honest, I'm a little groggy and I'm not 100% sure. How am I feeling? I'm asking the DM. I need to some sustenance.
You've been out for like 2 weeks.
2
See,
weeks.
my hands are almost all better.
Well, that's good at least.
They still kind of crack and popple, and they're a little sore, but they work.
I need you to bring me some whiskey and some food, and then some more whiskey.
Some food and some water. I'm on it, boss. We probably have some rations there. If not, we'd run down to that local watering hole that's just a block away.
There were from the prior owners, because I think this place it was abandoned. But I remember last that there was some at least some ale in the back. There very well could be some whiskey in house.
He said he's groggy. Do you really want to get him drunk? Because once he starts, he won't stop.
That is a good point. I don't necessarily want to get drunk, so just bring me ale.
I kind of Hammereth kind of like does a double take towards the mask. So Sharp, I'm assuming that you took it off and you like set it next to you. Did you like set it on a table or?
I'm on the ground, so I assume I've not actually stood up yet, so it's probably on the floor next to me.
Gotcha.
Yeah. I don't know to what extent I can trust the dreams I was having, but I don't think the mask actually cures people of lycanthropy. I think it just takes the curse and passes it along to someone who has some use for it. But I don't know who that someone might be. In my dreams, it seemed as if we were manipulated into picking up this curse by someone who wanted us to find the mask, by someone who wanted us to transfer this power to him.
Well, that doesn't sound good.
Yeah, maybe I need to think a bit more on what it was I was seeing, but it didn't. I agree. It doesn't seem like it's a good thing.
I'm Hammereth gonna he's gonna take a closer step towards the mask and he's gonna study it. But as soon as you set this down, I swear I saw some sort of shadow right where this was standing. If I reach to touch the mask, is it still boiling?
No, now it's no warmer than you know, a sword might be, or like just it's not hot, but it's not cool to touch. It's kind of just like room temperature.
Perhaps we can. I think we should maybe speak with this person at the university.
Telling you, Hurlo doesn't really know that much about the mask. He only found out about it because I was asking specific questions. And this was outside of his area of expertise to begin with.
People that know the most about it, probably the people at the cathedral.
Whereas my impression was they really didn't understand it either, which is why it was just sitting in a display case on a mannequin.
Kind of feel it belongs in the museum, guys. Unless we have a reason to keep it.
I don't necessarily disagree. I'm a little reticent to try to put ourselves in possible danger by handing it back. But like I said before, I'm perfectly fine going by at 3 a.m. and just hurling it at the church door. They can find it in the morning and put it back.
We could just go to a service, have it in a bag, and leave it in a pew. They'll find it.
Or place it in the basket as they.
The lost and found.
I would prefer to do it in a way where no one could possibly say, why are those people leaving that bag there? Why have they just put that bag into the collection plate? But I don't disagree that returning it's probably fine. I'm just disturbed by this vision that I had. And I'm not entirely sure if we're going to need it again.
I can drop it off. I'd be happy to drop it off.
Or if somebody will. I mean, I can't imagine that we're the only, if there is some greater force out there that manipulated us into this, I can't imagine we're the only people being manipulated right now. So I agree, we should return it. It doesn't have to be tonight. It can be after we're sure the heat is off. Actually, 2 weeks, the heat may be off.
Was I right in my time?
For me, it feels like it's been just a night.
I mean, there's a week for my hands. Was there another week on top of that?
Yeah, I want to say yeah.
Probably a few days leading into getting my hands started and a few days after getting my hands. That makes sense.
Yeah. So there was at least a week of downtime before, right after the stuff with the heist, where you guys were looking for the House Jurassico stuff and doing the preparations with the mask, trying to ask Hurlo about more information, and yada yada.
There's a beast attacking Sharp.
Okay, what was this vision that you saw?
It was mostly about my wife, but in my vision, she was saying that all of this was just a manipulation, that we were through some sort of plan infected with this curse, knowing that we would be led to the mask, knowing that we would liberate it, and that we would be sending the power of these curses back to whoever arranged for all of this. Although I really don't know why, and every time in the vision my wife tried to say the name of the person behind it, there was just a loud beep. I assume that's what the email is saying.
Sure, we'll go with that.
So she may have just been cursing for all I know.
So somebody might try and come and get it.
Someone might try and come and get it.
The reason I don't want to just leave it on the doorstep. Anyone could just go say, "Oh, look, there's a bag," and walk off with it.
Well, I have no problem with sneaking it into the church and leaving it somewhere discreet.
Yeah, we
where
could
they'll
probably hide it
find
somewhere.
But for now, I think we should. We do need to find a good place to hide it in case somebody is going to try to take it from us.
Sure. How about in that hole in the stairs?
Where does the hole in the stairs lead anywhere?
Oh,
This is
underneath
more.
the
This
stairs?
is. Well, I'm just not. I'm not sure if like the stairs just go down to like the floor or the like the stairs go down into some little hidey hole.
No, it's like, it's just the space under the stairs. Like, they could have put like a cubby in there, but it's just like blocked off.
Well, maybe I'll build a cubby at some point. But for now, hey, the space under the stairs works.
All right, so you guys put the mask under the stairs.
Put it in a bag and put it underneath the stairs.
Okay. Is there anything else that you wanted to do or kind of get yourself situated with?
My thinking is I don't have enough information to go on to hunt down whoever did this to us. So there's a lot of work to be done around this place. So I'm going to break out my carpenter's tools and start working. Like, I'm probably going to rest a little bit so I'm not groggy, and then break out my carpenter's tools and start trying to fix things up.
Drink your breakfast like a champion.
Right. Well, I mean, not exactly like a champion because it's just ale. Ale is basically bread.
Well, especially stout ale. So
I mean, if Solana were here, I definitely would ask her if she had any strange visions. But I assume she's off having like brunch with Varys, wherever he is.
So we concluded it was like two weeks of downtime.
Yeah, about there.
Okay, so Hamarath would be okay. So he wouldn't really have anywhere to go quite yet.
Everybody give me a perception check.
I did give you one in the chat.
Yeah, don't mention things you do in the chat.
Okay.
Dave?
I'm working on it.
Oh, okay.
I didn't know if we were supposed to like private message that since you asked me.
If I private message you something,
Then it's private.
like if I ask for a check privately, don't announce it unless I give you information that then you can do with the information as you will. All right, Peter's not here, but Hamarath and Sharp, you did well enough that we'll just say everybody hears a scream, a very shrill scream from outside.
And run to the window and like kind of rub the smudges off. And it's not great because I imagine these birds are pretty dirty, but you can see just enough through it.
You see a small crowd gathering with umbrellas outside down the street. but that's all you can really see from here in the rain.
Like, are they facing, like, they gathering outside of some other building?
Yeah, it's down the street a little ways, so you're not able to see great detail, especially with the rain. But you can see several people wielding umbrellas, and despite the lightning and the thunder and the wind, there was a scream loud enough to pierce all of that for you guys to hear.
So I would go out, despite the rain, in that direction.
Same.
There was a scream? I didn't hear. I missed it. You sure you're okay to go outside, boss?
Well, I need to figure out what's going on.
We can do that. Why don't you stay here and rest? We can go out and check it out.
All right. Yell for me. I'll be by the door if you need me.
Come on, guys. Let's go see what's going on.
So yeah, Hammereth would grab his cloak and his alchemist supplies.
Dag has his hat.
Okay, Jofar, just to kind of catch you up, you guys heard a scream coming from outside. And
Is this normal for this neighborhood?
no, definitely not.
Okay. Where's the mask?
In a bag underneath the stairs.
Okay.
Yeah, we've hid it in a
Hole in the
hollow
stairs.
section under the stairs.
Okay, I'm gonna stay with the sharp if he's staying back, and
Okay.
probably keep the door open and look to see if I can see anything. But
Okay.
Yeah. So Hammereth and I'll go. And
Okay.
Dag.
So, okay.
Mm.
So once again, this highlighted section is the Sparkling Alchemist. The scream that you hear is coming from somewhere around this area.
Wow.
So as Hammereth and Dag make their way over, there's a crowd of people gathered, and you kind of push through the crowd because it is a little thick, even though there's lots of people. Like, even though it's raining pretty bad, this is something strange must be happening to attract this many people. And as you guys kind of push your way through, you see a body on the pavement with their head and body is all mangled. Blood is running from it. So yeah, there's a body in the street.
There's a body. So, hey, what time of the day is it? Did we establish that?
Probably mid-morning, close to noon.
Okay. So like maybe 11 a.m., somewhere in there.
Yeah.
So is anybody attending to this body?
No, nobody's attending to it. Everybody's just kind of staring at it.
So someone
Nobody
go
knows
get the
what to do.
guard.
Out of my way, I'm an alchemist. And I like push through the crowd and kneel next to the body and kind of start doing kind of the checks to see if it's alive or if it's alive.
You don't need a medicine check to know that this guy's dead.
But how'd he die, Hammereth? There's a lot of blood.
A lot of blood. He's on his back. So and there's lots of blood.
Is there obvious injuries? Hammereth and Dag will start to investigate the body.
So Hammereth and Dag, give me an investigation check.
18.
13.
Okay. So Hammereth, based on where the body is and what you see from the building above you, you can see a curtain blowing and an open balcony. It appears like this person either jumped or fell from the balcony.
It looks like he fell from there.
Well, that would do it. Sidebar. So Hammereth is from this area, and this was supposed to be a smaller community. So what are the chances he would know people in the crowd?
So Hammereth would probably know people here. Hammereth, give me an intelligence check to see if you know this person on the ground.
Nice. 22.
All right.
Like much better than the last week's. Somewhere over here. Also, one question I would have is like, what's the building that looks like is it like a residential building or is it like shops where
no, this is the building that he jumped from was residential. And I sent you some information, Dustin.
Would the entrance to this building be somewhere near?
Yeah.
Should we go up and check out his apartment, his house? Should we wait for the guard? You would know the protocol.
We should probably wait for the guard, otherwise it'll look suspicious if we.
Right.
Even though I at least believe I'm a respected member of the community, I'd still. They be a fickle bunch.
I think we've been to the guard at least once.
The watch was in Hightower, the neighboring district. Oakbridge it's such a small and quiet community. It doesn't really have its own watch. It hasn't really needed one. So it may take a little bit of time for somebody from the watch to come and investigate.
Hasn't needed one until we moved in.
Pretty sure this is Spons. He was an art dealer. Didn't have a whole lot of friends, but see him make appearances here and there.
Spons.
He's kind of on his own.
I heard that. I heard that name. Spons.
Do you have an interest in art?
I was just talking to some people, and they talked about the art dealer, and I was talking to some people, and they said he was acting weird, like he was upset about something. And he was, where he used to be like a pretty good member of society, but he like went downhill recently for some reason. I remember they kept saying these people said he kept saying he was being followed by ghosts. I don't know. Would there be any ghosts in Oak Ridge? That sounds weird. I'm not sure his neighbors really believed him, but they said he even went so far as to get help from the watch and went up to the church. And one guy said something about some the arcanery. Is that the one we were familiar with?
Yeah, that's where you went.
Oh yeah, he went to the magic shop. So, but but they said everyone said he was crazy. That there was no signs of ghosts. So I don't know, but boy, it must have been pretty serious for him to jump off the. If this is him, pretty serious for him to jump out of a window.
Serious indeed. Well, maybe it would be maybe it would be a good idea to at least search his residence, since the watch is rather far away.
All right, so everyone sees us. We're just gonna go check out where they jumped from. We didn't do anything. We're trying to figure it out.
So I would like to try to make eye contact with like some people in the crowd. Like ones I probably know a handful, right? So I would kind of make eye contact, kind of like the mutual looking for that mutual understanding of like that this is going down and we're going to go up there.
So one person that you know, Hamarath. Let's see. So Borlin, his name is Borlin Sigvar. You know him. He's the smith. You actually work with him a bit since you're an alchemist. Or are you an alchemist, or what kind of artificer are you?
An alchemist.
Okay. So you guys, you know, it doesn't happen very often, but you guys might work together on some kind of piece or whatever when he needs some magic imbued into his work. Even though your specialist is alchemy, you still know enough about other things that you can help with. But Borlin looks at you and he says, "You best be quick. If the watch see you up there, they're likely to make some snap judgments."
I trust we will be quick, but I trust that the crowd here could also provide a good alibi if our intentions and judgment are called into question.
Sure, but just because you didn't do anything here doesn't mean that they won't charge you for obstruction. Just be careful. I'll if they come, I'll give you a bit of time if I can, but you best know what you're doing, Hamarath. Getting involved in something like this.
We're with the Red Helicore Investigations. We'll be able to figure this out.
I didn't see you there, little man.
Oh, hi, yes.
Sorry, you snuck up on me there. I'm not sure I know you.
I'm Dag Nabbit. You can call me Dag. We just moved into the old the old building. I don't know.
Sparkling Alchemist.
Sparkling Alchemist building. We're starting up a investigation business.
The Sparkling Alchemist.
Yeah, we bought the building.
I thought it was condemned.
Well, it might be, but we're gonna try to fix it up.
Well, good luck on you for that. But like I said, if you're gonna do it, you best do it quick.
Come on, Hammer, let's get up there.
So yeah, we'll just kind of run then. And I'd imagine that Dag would be ahead of Hamarath just because I imagine he's much more.
I am nimble, but I am a halfling, so.
Yeah, so you guys run at the same speed. All right, so you get up there, and you see his apartment. There's lots of various. I mean, it definitely shows that he's not just an art dealer, but he's also a collector himself. He has several pieces that seem to be made out of like sculptures that are made out of dragon shards, which is interesting because of the size of the dragon shard needed to make something like that. Nothing big, I mean, maybe softball size, but still, that's relatively large for a dragon shard. You also see some works of painting of various portraits or depictions of battles from the last war. You see one painting that it seems of a scene of a circus with a ringmaster and a dinosaur trainer whipping some what are they called? Shit. The Dionysuses, whatever, dinosaurs, whatever, just dinosaurs. So, and it's a pretty nice place. You can tell that the furniture is pretty upscale. This guy was living well.
So, Dagger, the door's open. We were able to go in without any issue. We take a couple steps in there, and Dagger says, "Okay. According to the Junior Investigator Handbook, we're supposed to stop in the middle of the room and just kind of slowly go around and just absorb everything." And so it's an investigation, or really a perception check, because I'm not poking at anything. Just looking for anything that's out of place. I mean, obviously he's an art dealer, but is there something that seems out of place or shouldn't be here?
So both of you give me investigation checks.
Sure. 10.
9 or 10 as well.
So you notice that on the balcony there is what appears to be a spray of blood on some of the curtains. The rain is washing the rest of everything away, but you notice blood splatter on the curtains, which are like a silk white.
So he was hurt before he jumped.
I'm gonna see. I'm gonna like quickly close the ground between us and the curtains, and then kind of look around and see if I can see if there's like any sort of like blood splatter elsewhere, like any blunt objects or not so blunt objects. Or does it like look like it's coming from a certain direction? Like, did it like spray up or like spray to the side?
So, give me medicine check for that.
6.
I wonder if we looked at the body, if we would be able to find some sort of wound that wouldn't be consistent with hitting the ground, right? That's like a blunt thing. Maybe he'd have some sort of puncture or slash on him. When we get down there, we'll have to remember to look.
It's quite possible. I'd say we only spend like another minute or two up here before we.
Yeah. Okay. Taking it in, looking around. Because you just know Sharp's going to ask me, well, what about this? What about this? What about this? And I'm not going to remember. So help me remember. Lots of art.
How does it smell in here?
It smells windy and rainy. That's
It does smell. It smells like I would expect in place with art. A little musty. A little.
It actually smells quite lovely in here. It smells of lavender and vanilla. There's several candles burning.
Are there more than one room?
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's take a peek in these other rooms real quick.
Sure.
All right. So there's a bedroom. It's got like a, king size bed,
Taking
silk
it in.
sheets.
Taking it in.
It's made. In fact, it's made very precisely, with the sheets and the comforters all very firmly tucked in place. Everything is placed where it needs to be and has a purpose for being where it is. You don't see any clothes on the ground or anything, and any kind of mess. The bathroom, there's no hair in the drain or anything. It's also very meticulously cleaned.
Seems very clean in here. We would have noticed, right? He was a human male,
Yeah.
right? And he had hair and general build and stuff. Boy, I'd really like to go through that chest, but I don't want to take the time right now. Let's go to the next room.
So then the other place that's in there is there's a kitchen, which is relatively small, but it's well kept. There's a very well organized spice rack. There is an ice box that is enchanted to maintain a particular temperature.
I don't know. We probably shouldn't be in here any longer than we need to.
Let's head back into the main room. I think I saw something right as we were going towards the bedroom. There's another window open on the opposite side of the apartment. I think we should check it out.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the opposite side, the one thing that seems out of place is that the window in the bedroom is open, and you can see that the bedroom is kind of on. This window is directly opposite the other one. Both windows are open.
I'll poke my head out, look up and down and around, and just see if there's anything out there.
Nothing in particular. There's another road directly below this window.
But there's no like ladder or anything like that, or some person climbing up the wall.
No, nothing like that. Dad, give me an athletics check or acrobatics, but use intelligence.
Okay.
It's mental gymnastics.
So I rolled it, and it's a plus. So it was 7 + 1 is an 8. But I don't know. Do I add my proficiency to that?
Are you proficient in athletics or acrobatics?
I am not. No. So.
Okay. Yeah, you don't know anything else that. I mean, it looks like just a wall leading down, and then there's a road.
Yeah, I don't see anything out here. But hey, we should get out of here.
Yeah, we've been here long enough.
When we start to leave and we get back to the door and say, wait, this door, was it open when we came in?
It was.
Yeah. Hmm.
We'll try to open it.
I'll take a look at the lock. Does it look like it was picked? I might have some knowledge in that. Just from the outside.
How would you tell if a lock was picked versus opened with its key?
Well, there depends on how proficient the person would be. There could be scratches around the hole or the mechanisms.
Okay. Give me a sleight of hands check using intelligence. Or
All right.
wisdom. You can use wisdom if you want.
Yeah, they're both +1. Sleight of hand. So I am proficient in that. So I'm proficient in sleight of hand. So it was a 13 on the die. So I don't know. I have so it was 12 plus 13 on the die +1 is 14, and then my proficiency would make it 18.
Okay, so that's 18. So when
And
so FYI, when you're doing, for example, stealth check, if you're proficient, it doesn't matter what ability you're using, it's always proficient. But some things I might ask you to change the ability score that you're using
Yeah,
as
sure.
the base ability score.
Yeah, but I am. That's the sleight of hand is my super.
Yeah, you got expertise in that.
So that would have been another 4 on top of that, and I'm
okay. So you have your sleight of hand, you're proficient, and you are expertise. So that's a +8, right?
yeah. So
and then you rolled a what?
13.
So then
+1 intelligence.
So 14 plus 8, so that's 22.
Right. Forgive me. All right.
No, it's fine. It's almost imperceptible. If you didn't know what you were looking for, you would have missed it. But there are a couple of scratches that wouldn't be there if there was a key being used. Now you can't say when it was picked.
Sure.
But
So,
there's evidence that at least at some point in the past, this lock was picked.
So when you take your thieves tools, Hammereth, and you put them in here like this, and you kind of put leverage on the outside of the keyhole, you can leave little marks here, and you can see just a little right here and here. I have no idea if it was today or yesterday or a year ago. I could just see that the metal here is worn.
Well, that makes sense. That's it seems that there's at least one, possibly more attempts to get inside here through this door at least.
As you guys are walking out, both of you give me a survival check.
8.
Damn.
And the chatter has a good point. Dag should probably make some sort of temptation check. We need to come up with that, Mike.
Roll a d20. Just roll an unmodified d20.
Yep. Eight.
Oh yeah, there's definitely some shinies that you can't resist.
Yeah.
I got a 10 in my.
It's part of his persona.
Oh wait, I got a 12. Never mind.
Make a sleight of hand check, Dag.
Yeah, that's a 30. It's possible Dag doesn't even know he pocketed something.
Pocketed, you got a 30. You might be walking out with like a life-size sculpture under your arm.
Get some of those sweet Kyber sculptures. Or the Dragon Trade sculptures.
All right. So Dustin, you said you rolled a 12.
It was actually a 10. I was looking at the wrong skill.
Oh, okay. Do either of you guys have any class abilities or resources that might help you in this?
In the survival?
Well, just in the examination of the room.
Well, I do have proficiency in both investigation and perception.
Or did either of you want to use an action point on any of your things? I think you guys are level 5 right now, right?
Yeah,
Yep.
sure.
So you should have 2 action points per session.
I use an action point in my investigation of the room.
Okay.
Reroll?
Yeah.
16. Yeah, so as I'm doing, okay, in the kitchen, and I do the counters and the table, and I move down to the floor, and there's some white powder on the floor. This place is so clean. I'm surprised there. What is that? And I'll go up and I just kind of, and it blows a little bit. Oh, I think that's flour. That's
Flour.
yeah. So I'll look and kind of pull some cloth over my finger to open the cabinets and look inside the cabinets.
So you see in the cabinets there are some canned goods, some dried pasta kept in like a small bin, but you don't see any flour.
Weird. I don't see any flour in these cabinets. Wonder where it came from. Look up, look around. Oh, looking around. Well,
I'm gonna like take a little bit of the flour and like taste it. Does it taste like flour?
Give me a Constitution saving throw.
Hey, that's not the worst because yeah, it's a nat 20, and I'm proficient in the Constitution saving throw, so it's a 25.
You don't need to worry. It's just flour.
I thought for sure it's gonna be like a drug or something.
You're right. This is it's strange that there's just flour sitting here.
But luckily you made your save because your gluten allergy otherwise was about to kick in.
You should be able to tell which mill it was ground at. If it's local or not.
It's common wheat flour, right?
Yeah.
Well, I don't like being in here any longer than we have to.
Yeah, let's go.
I do want to check the body again, so let's go see if we can find any, you know, anything that doesn't looks out of place for other than falling.
Would Hammereth have noticed Dag's nimble hands?
No.
No. Okay.
I would say only if you rolled a 20, but even then, it's more your passive perception at that point.
Right. Yeah, I was just wondering if he would have noticed, like, as we were leaving, like, if his pockets were bulging, or like.
Oh
stuff
yeah,
out.
it's not something that noticeable. It's a much more discreet item that he picked.
I assume his pockets are always bulging with something.
And which pocket? I got 100 of them.
Yeah. As you guys exit the building, you see a couple of watchmen with their backs to you, with the smith. What is his name again? With the Borland, talking to them.
Sneak back in the crowd. This way.
So yeah, we'll try to quietly get away.
So you don't need to worry about quiet so much because it is still storming. But still, give me stealth checks.
11.
Should that not be with advantage since their backs are turned and there's a storm?
That's fair. Yeah, go ahead and roll with advantage.
23.
Well, I have disadvantage, so that means I just have it at regular. So that's a 17.
Why do you have disadvantage? Because you're armor?
Armor, yeah.
Oh, okay. What'd you roll?
17.
Okay. So you managed to both
One.
pass by without drawing the notice of the guards. So you're able to kind of slink back into the crowd unnoticed, but you wouldn't be able to get to the body unnoticed.
Well, let's just go talk to the watchman. Use your player alchemist card again.
The crowd might have, most of the crowd saw us go into the building. If somebody just mentions it, it would be just as if we were caught.
I suppose that's true. You think we should just go back then?
Hammereth, are you proficient in history?
I am proficient in history with stone cunning.
Okay. Well, okay, so
Actually, yeah.
give me an intelligence check with proficiency, just as kind of a local knowledge check since you're from here.
Let's see, yeah, it's double. So that's 3 plus 3 plus 3, so 9.
Okay.
You also have your inspiration point, whatever we call
Action
it.
points.
Action points.
I'm gonna, I'm gonna hold on to it.
Sure.
You just never know.
You never know.
All right.
We do have 2 of them though.
Oh, that's true. I forgot because you used yours, and I was thinking about using mine by the end of it. So yeah, you know what? I will use 1 action point to re-roll that.
Okay. You don't even need to re-roll then.
Oh.
So meanwhile, back at the Sparkling Alchemist, just after they leave, I probably would have said to Joe Farr, glad to see that you managed to get away. How did you escape? A lot of people were focused on you when you were climbing away.
I was lucky.
Yeah, I'm going to go get some more ale.
So from the Sparkling Alchemist, visibility is pretty bad, but you guys do notice Hamarath and Dag blend into the crowd, and then you think you might see them from the balcony out in the distance, but you're not really sure because, once again, visibility is pretty poor at this distance with the rain and the wind and everything. But then you definitely see... Oh, go ahead.
Okay. I was just going to say, at this distance, I'm sure we don't know that there's a body that appears to have fallen from the balcony.
Oh, no,
So,
you wouldn't know that.
yeah.
So it would be
Right.
weird to see them just kind of sitting on the balcony like, for a minute. But then you do see them kind of make their way back through the crowd towards the Sparkling Alchemist. And then in the next couple of minutes, they enter, their clothing soaked.
Well, that body is going to be taken away to the Church of the Sovereign Host once the watch is finished. Probably cremated because they don't really bury people up here. There's nowhere to bury them.
What happened to him?
It seems he fell, either willingly or not, from his balcony. So there was
It is pretty windy if he was out on the balcony.
some blood stains on the curtains and suggested there wasn't a clean fall onto the balcony, that something might have spurred the decision, if you will.
How far away was the body from the front wall of the building where the balcony was? What I'm getting at is, does it look like he jumped, or could he have been pushed or thrown?
How far was it?
It seemed like it was relatively where the railing was.
It seemed to be pretty close to the end of the railing, so it doesn't seem like it was some sort of jump or a throw or hoist.
Do you know anything about this guy?
Well, it was let's see, what was his name?
Fonz.
It was Fonz. He's an art dealer in the area. You see him around, he kind of keeps to himself.
You know of any reason why someone would want to kill him?
Is there, I mean, in this, well, I guess in Sharn in general, is there any sort of reputation for art dealers? Like, in the sense that, like, if someone deals in art, they might be like dealing in other things, or kind of like a laundry, like, what do you call it? Like a
Launderer?
a launderer.
Money launderer?
Yeah.
I mean, that's certainly possible. There's, from your understanding of him from around the community, you don't know that he was necessarily, you don't have any evidence that he was involved in any untoward activities. He seemed, based on what you saw at his apartment, he seemed to be pretty well off. Based, probably one of the wealthier people in Oakbridge. But I mean, that's not necessarily evidence of any foul business dealings.
Dag will jump in and say that whole spiel again about, well, I was at the Bluebird Inn one night, and we were talking, and some people were at the bar, and they were chatting about this guy, and they said he was kind of losing his mind. He was let's see, what did he'll think of her a second. What did they say? Oh yeah. He was acting irrational, and he was upset about something, and where he used to be a really upstanding, and judging by his house, he was upstanding a person of the community, but lately he was dirty, and judging by his apartment, that seems really unlikely, doesn't it? It was so clean, and but he was always showing up disheveled and dirty, and but he said something. These guys said that he claimed to be he was being followed by ghosts, and he even talked to like the watch and the church and even the arcanery dude, and no one said no one seemed to believe him that he was being followed by ghosts. So I don't know. This community doesn't seem like a place for ghosts.
Hey, sounds crazy. Can't imagine somebody talking to ghosts who aren't really there.
Maybe, but his apartment didn't seem like a crazy person's apartment.
It seemed quite to do, and all that you would expect from an upper mid-class citizen of this neighborhood.
Still, I don't understand why people randomly talking at the Bluebird Inn would try to paint him as being crazy if he wasn't a little crazy. And him being crazy potentially points to self-harm. I'm sure, the City Watch will find out if there's something untoward going on, but, I guess maybe not. Being a Sharn cop in a city like this, filled with veterans of the last war, it's a little like putting down mousetraps in a cage filled with tigers. You don't know that they're really going to do a good job at stopping crime.
I did mention, by the way, and turn my video back on. I did mention, by the way, that we're the Red Halo Corps investigations, and we were in the Sparkling Alchemist, and we're fixing up. I mentioned that in the crowd.
That's good. It's good to get the word out. I mean, I guess if anybody cares about this guy, maybe they'll come and ask us to look into this further. Right now, there's not a lot to go on, although I guess I'm leaning towards somebody probably did him in. I just can't figure out why or if he deserved it.
This very well may come back to us. This is a pretty big deal. This is the first murder in Oak Ridge in decades, perhaps longer. It's certainly as long as I've been here.
Sharp, I've been thinking we ought to have some sort of business card or something we can give to people to say, hey, if you have a problem, come check us out. Come talk to us.
I mean,
our business card's a thing in Eberron.
Yeah. House Civis certainly has business cards and are definitely willing to give to make business cards for people.
You get like 500 free business cards as long as you get the House Civis logos on the back.
Yeah, I think they make you pay and you have to get the House Civis logo on the back.
But then we could give it to like the City Watch, some businesses saying, hey, if you have any help, anyone needs something, we can give it to them. And
that is certainly a good thought, Dag. Now that we're not dirt poor anymore, we probably should put a little more money into the marketing of this business.
Marketing, yeah, that's what we should do.
I like your enthusiasm, but keep in mind that this neighborhood is pretty quiet, and between this murder and the hubbub down at the church, which resulted in a missing mask and a death, or potential, or was it he didn't die, right? We thought he died, but he didn't actually die. Lance Hardwood. Between those two events, it's kind of shocked it's shocked the system here. So if we start pumping out marketing saying, hey, we can solve your problems, it's going to look pretty queer to the locals, as in we had two bad things come in just at the time this new detective company came in.
I mean, maybe, or maybe they think, well, thank God we at least have this detective agency to look into these things. I mean, I would certainly turn it down if someone came and asked us to investigate the robbery of the church. I think that would be playing with fire. But if someone wants us to look into the murder of Svan, sure, why not?
That's a good point. It's been 2 weeks and I've been carousing. Has there been any talk about a robbery of the church? Or maybe they didn't even notice.
There was certainly a lot of talk about, the whole spectacle of it all. Dag, they're still trying to assess all the damage and what's been done at the church. And if they have completed it, they haven't really made it public.
Right. Okay. Fair enough.
I mean, both points are equally valid. However, I think you might find a 50-50 opinion on the matter. So,
Well, it'll take some time for the business cards to be made. So we could put an appropriate amount of separation. Still, if you know somebody who might be interested in having Svan's death investigated, you might go and talk to them and see if they're interested in hiring us.
yeah. he was fairly independent and he had many acquaintances, but no close friends.
Well, even the quiet types maybe have a girlfriend that they're not advertising. So we might still find someone who cared about him enough to look into it and who might not do it on their own.
I can put out a feeler. Gary Coleman might be able to provide a little more insight.
I forgot about Gary Coleman.
He's a man of different strokes.
Who was Gary Coleman again?
Gary Coleman is Hamrath's dealer out of the.
That's right.
Where he gets the Harpies milk. So every 2 to 3 weeks, as the supply runs low, he sends like a message, and they kind of meet at an undisclosed location. So it's possible that Gary Coleman has some sort of since he's an art dealer, maybe he likes art. Maybe he knows people that know Svans.
Okay.
Church isn't going to hire us. They got somebody on the job. A master inquisitor.
Oh, yeah? How do you know this?
That's what I hear. That's what I've heard.
Did you make some friends at the watch?
Yeah, made that one friend that one time. Walked in, showed me the basement.
Is that where you got this information about the Master Inquisitor?
Nope.
Well, I don't know where you heard it, but it certainly might be useful if we could discreetly follow what they were looking into with respect to the investigation. If you can't get it without pushing too many buttons or making people aware that you're a little too interested in it, then that's fine too. We'll just wait and see what happens.
I'll keep an ear out. I might fall onto something.
Why don't we take a 5-minute break?
Okay.
All right. Everyone ready to get started?
Sure.
All right. So, you guys, Hammereth and Dag just came back explaining that there was the body and there may be some signs of foul play. And Joe Farr just dropped the bomb that the church has hired a master inquisitor to discuss or to identify what happened there. So,
Would I know how they operate, like Master Inquisitors, like what their SOP is,
SOP.
standard operating procedure, like what
Ah.
they do, like what spells, or they cast like Zone of Truth or something, or what?
So, each master inquisitor is somewhat different in their tactics. They often are part of some kind of guild. Most of the better known ones are with shoot, what is there? It was the same dragon marked house that Varys had a mark with. Madani, House Madani. Their inquisitors are really well known for their capacities to solve crimes and prevent crimes from happening. The exact methods that they use are not always well known, just because of the level of sophistication and also trying to maintain trade secrets. Jofar, give me a intelligence check.
Wait a second. 18.
Okay.
Yeah, so what the Master Inquisitor information says to me is we probably should invest in at least a lead box and not just a sack for that mask.
Wouldn't hurt.
So sure, even if the Master Inquisitor isn't a spellcaster, there's probably some spellcasters in the church.
You get my message, Peter?
Yeah.
Or we could just get it back.
Like I said, I'm not sure if we're going to need it or not.
Yeah,
I would hate to have to steal it again.
that would be. Yeah, I wouldn't like to do that either.
Especially since probably the museum's going to be closed for a while. And there's probably going to be like 2 of those golems next time.
I think I've come up with a good name for those golems. They're ceiling golems.
And even if we were to give it back, if they have a Master Inquisitor on the case, he still would continue his investigation until the story behind it, behind the robbery, would become clear. So
Right. I mean, if it had just been a robbery and the item was returned, it might lose its priority. But it turned into a beatdown on one of their head clerics. So
Staring at Jofar.
specifically not staring at Jofar instead.
Well, he survived. He'll probably be a little stiff for a while, but he'll be okay.
All right. So,
what sort of reputation do Master, like, I guess, being from the area, would I have ever like heard of a Master Inquisitor coming to Oak Ridge?
no.
Or is this like this is like, you know, rural Iowa, and we just called in the feds type deal?
Not quite that drastic, because this is Sharn. So, I mean, just because there's no crime here in Oak Ridge doesn't mean that there aren't areas not too far away from Oak Ridge that do have some significant crime. Generally, Inquisitors handle matters in the higher echelons of society, because Master Inquisitors typically have a price tag attached to them that the average person really couldn't afford. Some city or district watches may have a Master Inquisitor on the payroll with as some kind of retainer. That's probably not as common though, unless it's like a retired Master Inquisitor that still wants to keep active to some degree. There may have been Master Inquisitors that previously lived in Oak Ridge, but didn't necessarily work in Oak Ridge.
Are Inquisitors used like during wartime? Like, would they be like a company, like a battalion, or kind of be a position at like a POW camp?
You might see an Inquisitor, a Master Inquisitor, or somebody with a similar skill set in sort of more of a reconnaissance type role, or information gathering, maybe even as a spy to some degree. You wouldn't necessarily see them in any kind of active combat role.
Okay. Well, that's big news.
So you see Joe Fargo leave the room. He goes into his, I would assume he has a room here. Hear him rummage around.
A lot of rooms.
Yeah, there's quite a few rooms. You might have 2.
But no beds.
No beds.
And he comes out with, it looks like a little like a Silver Flame prayer book or something on one side, and it's like a little pamphlet, and he flips it over. Got the name right here. It's Victor Saint Domain. Wait, I know that name.
Who is he?
You know, who was the woman that we found the statue, the hand for? Khaleesi?
Pretty sure it wasn't Khaleesi. I think it was KLS Tella.
Yeah, yep. He's the one that referred us to her. Her to us. That's something like that.
Well, I guess that's interesting. I'd wondered where she got our name from before. It's a little unfortunate because he knows who we are then.
Yeah, we changed organizations.
Well, he knows War Dagger Core, not Red Halo Core.
Right, but
Entirely
presumably if he knew the name, he probably at least knows Jofar, myself, Solana. I don't assume he would make a recommendation to someone like KL Estella without knowing a bit more than just the name of our organization. Especially since we're so far outside the normal circles she travels in.
That's reasonable.
But I don't know that there's anything to worry about just yet. I assume we've got at least a little bit of time before that hammer drops. In the meantime, we'll just hope that he doesn't actually catch wind of the fact that we've rebranded ourselves and moved in here, as that might draw his attention, if only as a coincidence. So, Mike, at some point you can send me like my estimate of what it's going to cost to like fix all the holes in the roof, what I'm going to need to buy. Like, I assume I do have proficiency in carpenter's tools, but there probably could be other artisans who are needed to fix some of the stuff up.
So
I don't assume they have like stone roofs necessarily, but I'm not sure what they use to waterproof them.
So are you trying to do it all in-house, or are you willing to hire people to help you?
To the extent we can do the carpentry in-house, I would do that. But if it requires something beyond that, we probably have to hire someone. We can all burn ourselves on hot tar trying to seal the roof.
Start failing skill checks after skill checks.
All right, I'll make sure that I send you that after tonight's session. So what's your guys' next move? Are you guys just going to kind of sit and wait for a bit, or are you going to go out and
Well, Dag would carouse, right? He'd go to the what, Bluebird Inn or whatever it was, and just listen for rumors and hear what the hubbub is on the street.
Is there still a crowd outside?
Sorry, 1 second.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, I mean, right now, it makes some sense to me to just continue to lay low for a bit. So during the day, I mean, just fixing this place up seems like it's something we should probably be working on. And hey, at night, I'm happy to roll on the carousing table from the DOG.
So yeah, as the watch kind of starts dispersing the crowd, you can see that from your windows, and then there's a couple of them that load the body onto a stretcher, and then they then load it onto a cart, which is not being pulled by a horse. It's actually seems to be able to mobilize without needing to be pushed.
Heading
And
toward the church.
yeah, it's heading towards the Oak Bridge's Church of the Sovereign Host. So yeah, so you guys are laying low for a bit. Sharp is, I imagine you're starting to get started with your carpentry stuff.
Yep.
And then are you guys all help pitching in then in some way?
Yeah, whatever way we can.
What skills do you guys have or tool proficiencies?
Got masons and leatherworking, and thieves tools actually, but the masons and leatherworking would probably be the most helpful here.
Okay. I would say the mason's tool proficiency would help with the roofing stuff. Wouldn't be safe to do it now in the rain, but you would still be able to assist. Jofar, do you have any tool proficiencies?
No, not that I know of. I don't think so.
Dag?
Not really. I could draw a map of the place. I could disguise it, and I can break in.
What do you mean by disguise it?
Oh, I've got a disguise kit.
Oh. You know, actually, if you put that together with Sharp's carpentry tools, you guys could potentially use that to create some false walls.
Like a trap door underneath the stairs? A hidden compartment?
Hidden compartments, you know, smugglers' dens.
So like an escape hatch into onto the roof. That doesn't have to be a door. That could be like a hidden door.
Yeah, and then it would be like a stair, or not a stair, a ladder.
It could be a secret escape route.
Yeah. That would be something that you guys could do. So if you wanted artisans and stuff to help you, that would be just to give you guys a kind of some idea of the cost.
Stronghold and followers.
So that would be about 2 gold pieces per day for a skilled laborer. So if you need somebody like proficient in carpentry or specific tool sets, that would be 2 gold pieces per person. If you wanted somebody that's just general labor, people that can move things around or when directed, hammer what needs to be hammered, that would be 2 silver pieces per day. Not including materials, which I'll email you about Sharp later.
I mean, if we have a mason and a carpenter, I think we probably have the skills we need to do most of it. I mean, there might be some metal fittings where we'll have to go buy them from the blacksmith.
Yeah.
90% of my time is going to be fixing up the bar. You realize that?
Of course. I wouldn't expect anything less. And a magnificent bar, I'm sure it will be. So, then the next day.
But I do agree in general that we probably all should be out there carousing a bit to try to pick up on rumors on what's going on in the area, both to find business and to figure out if we're about to all go to jail or worse.
Okay. Are you guys all going together as a group?
I would assume we would probably split up. We all have, different sorts of things we would do, different people that we know.
Okay. So, a breakdown with some of the places that are in the area. You have obviously the Bluebird Inn, which is a nice little establishment. It's got, it serves food, they serve beer, they have dancers, they have musicians. It's a fairly nice little establishment. Then there's, the Oak Bridge Church, which is, and that's a church of the Sovereign Host. And that is led by a cleric by the name of Lofer Magnulin, who is a half-elf. And then, let's see. Is there any other kind of establishment that you guys would be specifically looking for, or some kind of business?
Well, probably with the local watch that
Right. I would assume that probably Joe Farr would go and talk to his buddies at the watch and just sort of, generally catch up on what's going on in the neighborhood. That is actually, just legitimately, normally, maybe a good place to find potential future business as he hears what things are going wrong in and around the area. Not necessarily just in Oak Bridge, but in surrounding areas as well. We do have a sort of an inn with, I think it was the bakery, forgetting what exactly the business was, but we, had that one girl who was showing us around. So we can go back there and continue to talk to them. Right. Whatever, however distasteful the guy who runs the place is, we can go and buy food there and shoot the shit with him while we're there. I other than the Bluebird Inn, are there any other taverns in this area?
There's one other one. This one is a hole in the wall type place.
Dibs. Whatever it is, dibs.
It's called the Drowning Mole.
So after the Sparkling Alchemist closed and fell into condemnation, Hamarath retreated to the Drowning Mole. So he would be known in the Drowning Mole.
Okay. And the Drowning Mole is run by so that one is run by a blind tiefling. And she's a winged tiefling. By the name of Gretchen Felsworn. So, so Hammereth, you would know her somewhat well. She is the owner, proprietor, and usually also the bartender. You're not quite sure how she's able to know the liquors that she's serving and make the drinks that she does, but she seems to be proficient with it regardless of her sightlessness. You know, most of the, I mean, Oakbridge is made up of mostly reputable people anyways. So this place, there's only a few regulars. Most other people that come here are passers through that don't really feel comfortable in the more upscale Bluebird Inn. Some of the few alcoholics that live in Oakbridge call this place home. Given your circumstances, Hammereth, you fit right in with this crowd.
Well, if you guys just moved in and you haven't been to the Drowning Mole yet, I can vouch that it is in fact a great place.
Yeah, that sounds like a good place to start. People who get that drunk tend to shoot their mouths off. Could probably learn a lot there.
Oh, yes.
Before we do that, Jofar, you also would know that the watch that overlooks Oakbridge is actually managed by a warforged whose name is Baduk. Even you think he's an uptight asshole. That is like a real stickler.
So he's a Warforged version of Jofar.
Yes.
But he's like more Jofar than Jofar.
So Peter, if you wanted to do that first, since you didn't really, because we already had some stuff with Dag and Hammereth. If you and Declan wanted to do something, then we could start there before we do like the Drowning Mole and stuff.
Who was Martin Periwinkle?
What's that?
Who was Martin Periwinkle?
Martin Periwinkle.
Was he at the watch also?
Yes, he was also at the watch, but so that's the watch that overlooks the area of Hightower or whatever it's called. That's not quite the same jurisdiction as Oakbridge would be, even though they're fairly close by.
Okay, that's fine.
So you guys want to start in the Drowning Mole then?
That's fine.
All right. So you walk into the Drowning Mole, and the first thing that you notice is the atmosphere. It's got the fake wood paneling that in places is coming up from the wall. It's got lots of chairs that are, you know, some of them, the seats are broken, cushions are misplaced. So it's just the stool without a cushion. The tables are all wobbly. There's the occasional puddle, and you can't tell if it's alcohol, puke, vomit, or urine. You know, there's a couple of people who are just sitting with their heads down with their drink next to them. Nobody's really talking. It's very quiet. And at the bar is the tiefling woman with dark black hair with a few streaks of gray highlights. Her eyes are cloudy gray. Her skin is like a deep crimson, and she has her wings folded around her, kind of like a cloak. And as you open the door, she kind of goes like this, and then she says, "Oh, Hamarath."
Right, Jane. It's good to see you, darling.
You have new people here. Who are your friends?
Yes, this is Declan and Dag
Hello.
and Joe.
So with each of you, she kind of reaches out, kind of like looking for a handshake, and as she grabs your hand, she also kind of feels up your forearm as she kind of greets you.
I was sort of thinking that maybe Jofar finally found a place that graffiti would improve. Also, I was sort of wondering, what is how bad is a place that in a fantasy world has fake wood paneling? What is it actually made of? Just like dung covered with a fake wood veneer.
Yeah, the place certainly has a special kind of charm. So Hamarath, you would know that there's been many community board meetings trying to find ways of getting this place shut down, getting her license, her commerce license revoked and everything like that, but she always manages to squeak by.
This place is like a cockroach. You just can't kill it, and that's why I love it. This fake wood veneer says more about life and what's worth living than any other building in this part of the town.
So does this place have a reputation? Like, what's the food like?
They don't have food.
Okay.
They have ale.
Okay.
No kitchen. There's only one thing this place is good for.
I'm sure if you're quick, you can catch whatever's skittering along the bar.
Have I heard of any rumors about? So I assume that we talked about going to this place. So did I hear any rumors about, like, what are the rumors about this place? Like, are there a lot of fights? People get sick from drinking whatever? I mean, what's the sanitation rating? Like, you know, is it D plus? What is it?
It's really kind of unregistered. This establishment has been around so long that it's been grandfathered in to a lot of the more current Oakbridge standards. Oakbridge hasn't always been the place that it is now, but for the last, 100 or so years, it's been like this. And while Gretchen hasn't always been the proprietor of this place, it has been in her family. And so they've always kind of managed to defy the changes that took place in Oakbridge. In terms of other rumors that you might have heard. It's supposed to be a safe place for the outcasts and the weird. And in Oak Ridge, there's not many of those, but you know, Oak Ridge always has their black sheeps, the people that don't fit in quite as well or live with family who are ashamed of them. And this is the refuge that they take.
Okay, so could I roll investigation to see if I've heard of anybody has like ever been poisoned here or maybe caught some sort of curse or disease, you know, or something? Because this place sounds real sketchy.
Who would you talk to about that?
Amarath.
Yeah, I guess since he would know about it, I'd start with him.
So Hammerat, what do you have to say about this place?
I mean, this place is home in many ways. I think you'll be fine drinking the ale. You know, standard procedure with ale is, you know, you only get sick if you drink too much. Also, avoid the stone piss. It's extra terrible here. Unless you're looking for that a special kind of night and you're really trying to forget something.
I just assumed they served it with extra piss.
It's mostly piss here.
Okay. All right.
In terms of you know, people being poisoned or catching anything, no. If so Gretchen is very careful about that, and Hamarath would know this, because if you know, the city, the district council is always looking for ways to shut her down, and so she has to be very careful and meticulous about certain things. So while this place does have a certain atmosphere, you can tell Jofar especially, you know, it's not all, some of it is more theater than actuality.
Okay.
I mean, it certainly is genuine in a lot of ways, but it's also, some of it is just enhanced or played up.
Okay. All right. That's good. All right. I'm good.
So Gretchen begins pouring Hamarath's signature drink, and then she says, "So what will the rest of you be having?"
I'll have whatever Hamarath is getting.
Same here.
And you, little one?
Oh, something lighter, some ginger, maybe a ginger ale.
Okay. She pours the same thing that she's pouring for everyone else.
It takes that. It's like, oh, you guys are in for a real treat. Double malt liquor with a splash of grenadine.
Oh my. The smell of this is making my eyes water.
You'll learn to love it in time. It grows on you after several months. By the way, retching, we've these fellows have moved into town with the detective agency I hopped on. Red Halo Corps.
Oh, is that right? A detective agency. Well, that's a strange thing to have here in Oak Ridge.
Well, we were in need of new office space as the rents on the place we were camped in were going through the roof. And we came upon the Sparkling Alchemist and realized we could fix it up. Our clientele may need to travel here, but we're pretty good, and I think we're worth a little bit of a trip.
Ah, I see. Well, it seems like you've gotten here at a particularly interesting time.
Yeah, I hear there's been some trouble. You know, I've heard that this place has a clientele that includes a lot of the otter folk and the loners from here in Oakbridge. That fellow who fell and died, was he someone who would have come here? What was his name? Svan?
Spawn?
Spawns.
You heard of Spawn. You heard of what happened to Spawns, right?
I did. Very surprising. Wouldn't have expected such a thing to happen in Oakbridge. I heard he was really stressed out. I didn't think he would be to the point of jumping from his own balcony.
You couldn't fly, right?
Didn't see any wings.
I couldn't say. It is interesting, though. There are usually wards built in that keep people from falling very far. Seems they weren't working, I suppose.
Aren't those coins you can put in your pocket too?
Well, sure, there are the feather tokens, or, you know, if you happen to be blessed with a pair of wings, as I am. But there's more than that. Usually, the buildings in Sharn have multiple wardings built into their outer structures, their walls, and they'll activate when a person is falling. It helps prevent a lot of accidents here in Sharn.
I'm especially surprised that wards like that would have broken or been dispelled here in Oakbridge, of all places. I mean, if it happened down in the lower Dura, sure. I'm sure that happens down there, but here it's surprising.
Interesting thing about that, though, is the wards are typically made to be permanent. If they were disabled, they couldn't have been disabled for very long, or they would have reset.
Well, if it were in Oakbridge, that would certainly strike me as curious. But I don't know what to make of it in a place like this. I also hear there was some trouble at one of the churches nearby.
I did hear something about that as well.
The neighborhood is apparently a little bit rougher than I initially thought before we moved in.
I mean, it's normal. It's normally pretty quiet. It's just there's a lot of goings on lately. It's not a good vision of what life is normally like in Oakbrook.
If you ask me, I'm sort of glad for the excitement. Changes things up a bit. Sad about the people that have been on the receiving end of some of the misfortune, but still, it does make things exciting.
Well, I mean, not personally too excited by whatever happened to poor Svans. Is that his name? That's just sad. I mean, I've heard so far stories that he thought he was being chased by ghosts or something, and that he was generally agitated. So that he took his own life is, well, that's a tragedy. I don't really know that much about what happened at the church. I just know people have said that it was a big deal. What do you know what happened?
Apparently there was some kind of explosion of some sort in their museum. And there was, or a fire. Yeah, they do. I hear it has some interesting pieces. Of course, I wouldn't know. Doesn't really do a blind girl well to go to a museum. But yeah, they have a museum, and there was some kind of explosion or fire, and then there was some kind of crazy person that attacked one of the priests.
2 crazy people then. Svan and this person. It wasn't Svan, I assume.
I don't imagine so. He doesn't really go out that way very much. Kind of non-believer of sorts.
Did Svan ever come here? Whenever I've come here, I've never seen him, but perhaps we just missed each other.
No, he was not a patron of this establishment. He found it a bit, well, his tastes are a bit hoity-toity.
Pity. Well, he died without truly living then. As I slap the wooden veneer.
As you do, there's a crack that appears under your hand.
Sorry.
Sorry for what?
No, nothing. Well, if you could do us a favor, well, at least me a solid, if any clientele come in and they're voicing their concerns, and they might benefit from a detective agency, just feel free to pass my name along, or our name, and as a potential solution to their issue.
I'll make sure that they're aware of your consultation services are available.
We're working on business cards. So when we have some, we can come back and maybe put a little stack in the corner.
Oh, sure.
Next to the rat droppings on the counter.
Now, Hammerath, you know we don't talk about those things openly.
Sorry, I forgot. And I take like a big draught of my malt grenadine.
And you see her kind of going to sweep the things off the counter with her hand.
So far, it's like these chocolate covered raisins are great.
So can I get you?
I would finish my drink and get another one.
And she was about to say, "Can I get you another drink?"
When she asked that, I would just down the rest of the drink and go, yes.
You're muted.
Dag's probably still looking at his. Oh, this will be fine.
She pours everybody a new round.
We're not leaving until you finish all of your drinks.
Slide a hand, switch it with Declan.
Declan would not object to that, even if he noticed.
So, Hammerath, is there anything else I can help you with?
Oh, we're just checking the place out. I have a feeling we're going to be here a lot. Well, and I will look at Dag. Some of us will be here a lot.
Well, we certainly welcome the company.
So is this the usual energy level for this place? Does it ever get livelier?
Oh, this is pretty much the epitome.
But, I mean, if you wanted all that pomp and circumstance, you just go over to the Blue Bird.
Yes, they have all
Okay, Oh,
loud noise and dancing and talking. It's far too distracting from the thing that's important.
Yes.
So I assume, and you can tell me otherwise, but if we wanted to strike up a card game here while we were drinking, that you wouldn't have a problem with that?
Oh no, of course not.
cards. Now that's something I can get into.
I don't imagine there's a lot of gambling going on over at the Bluebird.
I wouldn't know. I don't think so, but I don't really take the time to worry about that place too much.
Yeah, that was mostly a criticism of the Bluebird.
Is there anybody else in the bar right now, or is it just us?
There's 3 other people in the bar. One of them is clearly passed out and snoring. Another one is just kind of has his head down and is kind of like drinking like this, trying to just clearly not worry about anything that's going on. It's just really focused on his drinking. And then there's one person that's kind of has his back to you. But he seems to be fairly alert with his drink. And he's on the other end of the bar, opposite the bar. Like at a table.
Do I recognize him as like a person, like a regular, or is it?
Yeah, it's somebody you recognize.
So I might, I would walk up to him, and I'd say maybe we can talk to him. He's been around. He's fairly regular here as well. I never actually bothered to strike a conversation with him, but maybe he knew Spawn, or has a little bit more feet on the ground. So I'd get a order of a double malt liquor with grenadine in it, and kind of walk over to this character. What time of day is it?
Probably sometime in the afternoon.
Been a long day. I've seen you before, but I haven't bothered to say hello. I'm Hamarath. And who might I have the pleasure of sharing this drink with as I pass it to him?
You know me.
Happy Dizzy Print. Yes, that's what it says on your name tag.
Well, certainly. What the fuck kind of accent am I doing? Well, yes, that is my name. And you know it, Hamarath. He is a very strange looking person. He's kind of got like the stocky shoulders and arms and the beard of a dwarf, but he's short and skinny-legged with a really bulbous nose. like more like a gnome.
Well, I do know you. But I haven't bothered to come and say hi. Tough news about Sven, hey? Svans.
What happened to Svans?
Oh my God, what happened to Sven?
Well, Svan jumped out of his window at his balcony and landed to his death.
Well, good riddance, I say.
I didn't really know him much except by reputation. Did you happen to know him?
He was a lousy cheat. He ripped me off on a piece that I had commissioned. Supposed to be a rather lovely portrait for my family. Looked more like a finger coloring than a proper portrait.
He seemed to have an eye for the abstract.
Why are you defending him?
I'm not necessarily defending him. I'm just saying he might not be the person I'd ask for a portrait.
And what is that supposed to mean?
Probably try to find a less snooty art dealer.
Are you criticizing my judgment now? Hammerath, you're real close to getting a splash in the face of some dark and mysterious liquid that might be swirling around in my glass.
Well, your judgment's probably fine.
I would say at least as fine. So did you come over here to just bother me and criticize my taste in art commissions, or is there something else I can help you with? Get you to speed along on your way?
I just came by to say hello and chat in the news, but I'll let you be.
You're not so good at the chatting.
Well,
I suggest you work on your manners, Hammerath.
well, I guess you don't come to these places to normally chat all that much.
No, I certainly do not. I come here to drown my sorrows and forget the world. And if there's nothing else I can help you with, I'm gonna go back to that task with gusto and moxie.
And I'll just walk away.
Guys, I was at the Bluebird Inn and I was talking to all those other guys about what they were doing. And that's where I heard all about this Spawn guy. We might get better information over there. If you want to talk about him.
I think we're lucky he didn't follow up with, "Are you walking away from me now?" I mean, we could swing by the Bluebird Inn. after we finish up a drink or two more, and then head on over for like a finishing drink.
Maybe get some real food in your stomach.
Yeah, you could certainly order food if you want. I think Joe Farr was hungry.
There's some food on the counter. I mean, retching swept it away, but it's also edible.
But they have real food at the Bluebird Inn.
So, Gretchen, is there any place that just specializes in gambling anywhere near this neighborhood?
No, you'd have to go outside Oak Ridge for some of that. This is mostly what you'd call a respectable neighborhood. City ordinances and, well, district ordinances generally prevent that kind of thing.
Still, we may have to venture out at some point.
I can
So I will
certainly
think-
point you into the direction of a couple of nice districts to cater to some of those desires and that stuff.
That would be appreciated because I'm sure it'll come up at some point. I mean, no immediate need to wander since we've got a whole building to fix up, but proper carousing usually involves some gambling sometimes. So I'll finish up my drink. Is everyone else ready to move along?
Well, you got to pay your tab first.
Right. I assume that was part of it. How much is it?
Let's see. So each of you had how many drinks?
I think 2, actually. We didn't.
Two was put
go
in front
for-
of me.
So Declan had 4. Yeah, probably about 7 copper pieces, 8 copper pieces.
Just throw her. Is 8 copper, 10 coppers of silver, right?
Yeah, 10. So 8 crowns.
As a sovereign.
10 crowns as a sovereign.
Yeah, so just toss her a sovereign.
Okay. Well,
Yeah,
thank
I'll-
you.
Toss her another sovereign.
Oh, you guys are mighty generous.
That was good conversation, and I feel like I'm going to be back. So, worth the investment.
You'll always have a seat here at the bar.
I
And,
guess
and
we
she
then
means
head
that
over.
quite literally because you guys are the only ones sitting at the bar.
So did they literally toss her a coin, and did she literally catch it?
I would have actually put it slapped it down on the bar so she could have heard it. I wouldn't have pelted her with a coin.
Well, yeah, I didn't. I might have did a little and it onto the counter.
She would have caught it.
Okay. Off the Bluebird Inn. Woohoo!
This is the first time it's ever occurred to me in the D&D context where they don't have paper money. Life as a stripper must be hard.
To tuck a coin?
Yeah, each of them just have a hit purse.
Fanny pack.
Yeah. All right, so you guys head out to the Bluebird Inn. That one is a bit busier. It's still probably not like peak hours, but there's a good number of people in there having dinner. There's a band playing. It's like a 2-person band. One's on the what is that called? The
Stage.
Accordion.
accordion. Yeah.
Mm.
One's on the accordion. The other one's playing some kind of stringed instrument.
So
Well,
I
here
probably
we
spent a
are
lot of
at
time
the-
here in the last couple weeks.
Here we are at the hoity-toity Bluebird Inn.
Uh-oh.
They have music and everything. They had a specialty. I was trying to find in my notes that they
I
were
looked this. God, sorry. I didn't mean to talk
that
over
they
you.
were at odds with the bakery.
Yes.
The lemon.
My recollection was that the bakery was at odds with them, and they weren't as concerned about the bakery.
That's absolutely right. The bakery was at odds with them, and they had like, what bakery? Yeah.
Yeah, so Mina is the daughter of the proprietor. She meets you at the door and she greets you and takes you to a table. The dish that you're thinking of is the what is it?
I wrote down the word lemon.
Probably the like lemon custard or something like that. There's actually a number of similar items on their menu for baked goods that are also on the menu at Kroga's bakery. But anyway, so one of the other table girls comes out to take your order, and well, first provides you with a simple menu. They have 2 dishes that are available for entrees. It just says steak or pork, and then you can choose either the potato soup or a chicken broth, and then it's served with a bit of bread.
Yeah, potato soup sounds good. You should get some real food in you, Declan, Mr. Sharp Boss.
I don't know that chicken broth counts as real food, but I guess I could get some meat of some sort.
What kind of meat do you want?
I'll order the steak.
Okay. And for the rest of you?
I'll have the half chicken.
Did you look at the menu?
Look, you and I both know that I've been here for quite a while, and that there's a secret menu.
And we continue to tell you that there is no secret menu. Where do you think all of our chicken goes to? It goes into the broth.
Well,
Because yesterday we had the chicken, we saved the bones, and it makes the broth. We've been through this, Hammerat.
have we? I think you're new here. I don't recall seeing you ever in my life.
That sounds like a personal problem.
Anyway, I'll have the broth then. And then I'll have to eat half the chicken worth of broth.
Oh my.
All right, so 2 chicken broths, 1 steak. Did you want a soup with that?
No, 1 chicken broth was ordered so far.
Oh, I thought the little one ordered
Oh,
some
the
broth.
We
potato
ordered
soup.
potato
Oh,
soup.
potato soup. That's right. My apologies.
That'd be enough for dinner.
So 1 potato soup, 1 chicken broth, 1 steak. And what do you have?
I'll have the potato soup and some pork.
All right. Any drinks?
Yes,
we have
lots.
a honey mead, and we have a hard cider.
Okay. Do you have anything that's not on the children's menu?
Well,
Honey
sure.
mead sounds great.
We also have the general spirits. Particularly, we have.
Wait, there's a children's menu?
We have some akavit, tezukolran, and a bit of gin.
I'll have a gin.
From your experience, Sharp, the akavit is probably going to be the strongest.
Yeah, I don't necessarily want to get drunk though, so
Okay.
I'll go with the gin.
Okay. What about for the rest of you?
Honey mead.
Cider. Keeps you regular.
So, Dag's gonna scan the room to see if he sees anyone that was talking about Spawn over the course of the last week or two. I assume this would be the place where he would have gone and hung out to pick up some of those rumors.
He actually never came in here.
Dag didn't.
No, not Dag. Svans.
No, but the people that were talking about him.
Yeah. But so you do see a couple of those people, but I thought you said you imagine that's Svans.
No.
Okay.
I never saw Spawn directly, and as far as I know. So, but I just heard people talking about this guy and
Right.
picked up on this guy. So I'd say, "Hey, did you guys hear what happened to Spawn?" As if I personally know him. I didn't never personally know him. I just heard about joining in their conversations and picking up a conversation with these people.
So you're just randomly going up to somebody and being like, "Hey,"
No, these are
but
people.
the people that you talked to before.
Yeah, right.
So the people at the table turn to you and they say, "Oh, it's you,
Dag, remember?
Dag."
We should have drank
Dag,
last
right.
week.
Right, yeah. So Svans, yeah, we heard about him. It's pretty terrible.
Horrible. I wonder what really happened.
Maybe the ghost finally got him, and that there's a laugh at the table.
Yeah, those ghosts. Yeah, have you ever seen a ghost before? I've never seen a ghost before.
Come on now, those are just myths. Ghosts don't really exist.
Yeah, maybe. Still, wasn't he like a artsy person? I wonder why he was so crazy all of a sudden.
Well, lots of reasons, I suppose. Stress. Maybe he took a bit too much of the akavit.
A bit of he didn't. Doesn't sound like the type that would be drinking that hard of a drink.
Well,
I didn't really know him, I suppose.
neither did we.
I wonder what he got mixed up in.
Well, certainly wasn't good for his Helps.
Did he have any family or friends?
No, just mostly acquaintances, people that he would talk to, mostly around his business dealings. Being an art dealer here in Oak Ridge, there's some buyers that were interested in his wares, but mostly he worked outside of Oak Ridge.
I wonder where. Yeah, I don't know. Where would you go sell art anyway? I wonder what kind of art he even worked in.
Couldn't say. Never saw his pieces or any of the things that he peddled.
Too bad. Well, cheers.
Cheers.
To Spawn. May your soul rest in peace and not chase me around as a ghost. Gulp.
So they don't immediately raise their glasses to the two spawns, but then when you make the joke about the ghost and everything, they go like, huzzah! And then they drink to that.
Okay.
Well, good seeing you, Dag.
Yeah.
Dag. And then they go back to their
Sure.
eating and drinking. In a few moments, one of the table girls comes out with your orders.
Does she get them right this time?
She does. She does get them right. And as you guys dig in, the food is actually pretty good. It's all very simple, but it's very well made.
I told you they had good food here.
That's what you're looking for.
It's pretty good.
What do you think's better, Amarith? Your wife make a better potato soup or chicken broth?
Definitely. You know, she enjoys this place a little bit more than I do. I'm more of a
Depressing.
I'm more of a drowning mole, and she's more of a bluebird in, if so to speak. But together we kind of balance each other out. But they got akavit here, so they have enough at least to suit my needs.
So as you guys are talking, all of a sudden, people start clapping, cheering, and whistling as the band stops playing, and you see a beautiful elf woman wearing a slinky silk dress come up onto the stage, accompanied by a fairly tall but skinny warforged with a drum that he kind of gets into a seated position, but he's not really there. There's no seat. He just kind of assumes a seated position, and then slowly begins to start drumming. And as he begins drumming, the elf lady begins moving in time to that beat, and everybody is just it's really an entertaining and captivating dance, and everybody's just entranced with it.
She's pretty. What a beautiful voice.
She's not singing.
Okay.
She's just dancing. I will, if I am not already back to the stage, I will like swing around so my back is to the stage. I don't need to get in trouble with my ghost wife.
Yeah, she begins moving seductively, and then even begins stepping from the stage and walking and dancing around the tables, kind of caressing the patrons along their shoulders, and even doing some grasps through their hair as she walks among the crowd, keeping in time with the beat of the drum. Give me a perception check.
Yeah. Some of Dag's perception. Well, maybe I was too distracted. Just a 7 for Dag. You know, it's getting late night. How about I use that last action point or whatever you call it? $14.
She's just going around all the patrons, like slipping roofies in their drinks.
I sent messages to those that had some kind of result.
Mhm.
You see that she's got a tattoo, and it's not a tramp stamp. Those are more common at the drowning mole when they do show up. You see the looks like a wild mare jumping over a flame. Does
Where?
that?
Where'd you see the tattoo?
It's on her shoulder. Oh, she just moved and like kind of flourished away.
And I'm going to get up and walk over towards the corner of the inn where there's a sort of man slumped over at a table. I assume at a table.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to take my drink and sit down next to him. And I'm going to say, my name's Declan Sharp. You look like someone with some troubles. You know, my company, we're in the business of helping people with troubles. So if you have a problem and you think someone could help you with it, we might be the right people.
We just
If you want me to leave you alone so you can sit here and drink, well, first of all, I'd probably recommend there's a much better bar for that called the Drowning Mole. But second, I'll be happy to leave you alone.
Look, I don't recognize you, so you're probably new. And you talk a lot, but you can't fix what's already broken.
That is true.
And then he finishes his drink and he kind of taps the table as one of the table girls walks by, and she knows immediately that it's to get him another one. So she goes to refill his drink, and then he motions to you as if you want one.
Yeah, I'll take one. And you're right, we are new. We've just taken over the Sparkling Alchemist Inn, and we'll be fixing it up. But we're running a detective agency, Red Halo Corp.
Well, good for you. Somebody's got something good going on, I guess. Although you don't see people at their best, I imagine.
No, generally not, but and the best of times, at least we can help make their lives a little bit better, which is why I sort of spotted you and decided it was worth at least coming over. Not everyone likes to drink alone when things are going badly.
He looks up at you and for the first time looks you in the eye. And he takes a pretty deep look. He says, "So where were you stationed?"
I was stationed pretty far to the north. What about you?
I was in one of the border towns between here and Drone.
Yeah, I'm originally from Ondair, so most of my service was between Ondair and Thrain, with very little let up in the fighting between the two sides.
Can't say I ever had a problem with the Ondarians. But, yeah, soldier recognizes a soldier.
So what brought you, are you from Sharn, or what brought you here?
Yeah, I grew up around here. I thought after the war, after all the carnage, maybe coming back would bring back a sense of normalcy. But I'm not the same person. I don't fit in here anymore. I don't deserve to be around these people.
I don't know. I think a lot of soldiers feel that way. Certainly after the war, my first thought was I didn't fit in Ondair anymore. And so that's part of the reason why I came down here. Something sufficiently different that I could at least have to learn something, engage myself in trying to fit in a new place where my being an outsider seemed more natural than it would if I were back at home with my friends and family again. Sharn has certainly been good for that because there's been no end of people in trouble here. And having set up a detective agency, it gives you something to do.
Sounds like you found a purpose.
Yeah, I suppose you could say that. There's also a little bit too much of the time spent working for people who frankly don't deserve my service, who are working harder to make other people miserable than they are trying to make themselves happy. But
Yeah, but that's the thing of the world, isn't it?
yeah,
Strong
and
get by, the weak just get smushed farther under their boot heels.
yeah, and in this particular game, as a detective, sometimes you just got to put food on the table rather than working for the clients that you think might be deserving of your time.
I hear that. And he chugs a bit of his drink. You notice from the smell of it, it's just straight akabit, which is normally drink in shots.
So what do you do for a living?
That's a good question. I'm kind of in between jobs right now. I have a bit of savings from the war and from some unfortunate circumstances. Money was left to me, so I have a little bit of time to figure out what I'm gonna do. Or maybe I'll just drink myself into stupor until there's nothing left to drink.
Yeah, I've attempted that myself on more than one occasion. Unfortunately, the next day always seems to come no matter what I try.
Yeah, and it's always harder to wake up, isn't it?
Every day is a struggle. So are you living in Oakbridge now? Can't imagine too many people wander into the Bluebird if they're not.
Is it that obvious? Yeah, I live here. It's like I said, I thought it might bring me back to before. But some things a man can't escape. Some things just change you to your core.
Well,
Some-
I can say I certainly was thinking we've, like I said, took over the Sparkling Alchemist, and my thought was this was a big step up from the office we had previously had in Precarious. Although now that we're moving in, I've heard that in the past couple of weeks it's been a lot of trouble around here. Apparently, some sort of explosion or something at a church. Some guy named Sven or something killed himself just this morning.
Yeah.
So I seem to have come here at a time when everything's going to hell here too.
Spends good riddance.
Don't know anything about him. I, in fact, commented that can't really say whether or not he deserved his end or not. Just a name to me at this point, but it was within sight of the Sparkling Alchemist. So some friends wandered out into the rain and wind, got sight of the body at least. Is he? Was he that much of a creep?
Well, here, I wouldn't know. In a past life, yeah. He did some things. He had it coming.
Someone was saying that he thought he had a ghost following him around, or multiple ghosts. What he did, is it the sort of thing you'd get haunted for?
Well, I don't particularly believe in real ghosts, but anyone who's been through the war knows there's certainly ghosts that haunt every corner of waking days, your dreaming days. So, yeah, probably.
So was he? And I actually, I don't think his name was Sven. It was something similar to that.
Spawns.
That's it. Was he in the war?
It's not my place to say. We're getting into territory that cuts too deep.
Fair enough.
He was in the war, but I don't want to talk about that.
Yeah, most people don't. Or at least most people who were there don't. The people who weren't there seem to love talking about it.
Isn't that something?
Well, it's like a story to them. It's like an adventure.
Yeah, I want to romanticize it. Like there was some great reason behind the war, like there was some holy reason for it to happen, or how there's some great evil to overcome, but it's just people killing people, slaughtering people, good, bad, innocent, guilty. None of that matters. People don't know that.
No, they don't. They don't really understand, although they think they do, just the fear of it. The one skill I learned is probably a lot harder than it looks, and that was how to cry without sound. The mute cry of a soldier, because you learn to fear that the sound itself can be deadly, drawing every arrow, every fireball, every firebolt right at you.
Yeah. Sounds like you were really in the thick of it.
Well, we gave as good as we got in the end. I don't think that the Rainish soldiers have had any better experience than we had. Although I also don't think I can ever forgive them for what I went through. That was another good reason to get out of Ondair, much less likely to run into the Thranish down here.
Yeah. I picked a place where I'm face to face with my sins. Always right there, and you know it's hell, but I deserve it. This is me that brought it on, so everything that happens, it's for a reason.
Well, I'm not one to judge. I've certainly done things that I think I still am deserving of punishment for. I suspect the same is true of a lot of us who came out of the war. I can say, if you ever either want someone to go out and drink with for a night, or you ever need the services of a detective agency, you should feel free to come by the Sparkling Alchemist. See if I'm available. I'll probably be there.
What was your name again?
Declan Sharp. And I'll reach my hand out to shake his. And your name?
And he'll take it and shake it. Lucian Kruzgar.
Should write that down before I forget it. Well, I should be getting back to my friends. Hope you pop in sometime.
Maybe
We
I
can hang
will.
out.
It's good meeting you, Declan.
Good meeting you. And I'll go back to averting my eyes from the elf dancer.
All right, so Sharp comes back to the table. In the meantime, what have you guys been doing?
Watching the girl. She's fantastic.
Yeah, so she really does move very very well.
So I've been in there a couple times. This is the first time I've seen her in particular.
Probably the first time you've seen her, but you've certainly heard about her.
Yeah.
You would know that her name is Corlina, and the Warforged is called Drummer.
Relina and Drummer. Boy, they were talking about these. We got lucky that they're actually here tonight.
Yeah, she's She's something to look at, isn't she? Yes. She catches many eyes in Oakbridge. Famously hard to get that one.
Where'd Sharp go?
He's talking to some other drunkard.
Seems he found someone to commiserate with.
Potato soup's good tonight.
Yeah, it is. And the bread's pretty good, especially when you dip it in the soup. See, nice, lively crowd. I have a deck of cards if you guys want to play a game of cards.
We can do it.
Sure.
All right, so you guys start playing cards?
Mhm.
Sure.
Okay. Is there anything in particular that you guys wanted to do for the rest of the evening?
Carouse at the opportunity, but otherwise, not going to force anything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. I think that this is probably a good stopping point for the night. Next time we'll pick up, it'll be the next day.
Mm-hmm.
And then we'll kind of pick it up from there.
Sounds great.
Okay.
2 weeks, right? 2 weeks.
2 weeks, yes.
Now that is Labor Day. Uh-huh.
So I'm still good for that. Is there anybody else that might not be?
I'm locked down, so I'm still good for that.
Okay.
There are no
As far
Labor
as I
Day
know.
plans.
No plans at the moment.
All right. Well, we'll play it by ear. If anybody's, if there are a couple of people that have plans, we'll delay.
I don't, as far as I know. I've got all my summer vacations, outings, all things done, usually by August. So.
Okay. What did people think about tonight's session?
That's pretty good.
Now,
It's nice to get back at it.
It was good to not be afraid for my life.
Yeah. It was good to not have Sharp trying to kill me.
Good to not just have exhaustion level on exhaustion level.
Have the hands work.
I was particularly pleased when I took the mask off and it A came off and B I wasn't horribly burned underneath.
I was a little surprised. I thought for sure there'd be some body horror.
Yeah, I was kind of disappointed. That might need to be retconned, I think.
Oh, don't worry. I'm saving it for another day, and it'll be even worse. Charging it up.
Okay, good.
So this is the part of the adventure where we start getting really more into the investigation type stuff. So it's kind of shifting a little bit from, running from your lives and having horrors and everything to more about using your investigator skills. So, so there's a whole bunch of things that I put in there tonight. Some of it means something, some of it's maybe not. We'll see. Any questions, concerns, feedback, or anything?
There was a lot in there. It's going to be hard to keep track of it all.
Yeah, there were a lot of names that were added.
And there were also a lot of, I found myself writing down a lot of little details here and there that I've written them down. Will I remember that I've written them down?
If we
We'll be
play
able
2
to-
weeks, 4 weeks, or 6 weeks.
Right. Will I be able to locate them in my notes if I remember? Who knows?
It will be on YouTube, so we can rewatch the episode.
Yes. So that will be an option. I may need to rewatch some of the episodes myself.
It would be good, like, to, especially for this, to get like a maybe like a
Character sheet.
a catalog of like the people we've encountered, and most of it get the spellings right, because like I just type them as I hear them, but
Mhm.
Right.
Okay, yeah, I can do that.
totally different.
And I would say that just something that I don't know if it was intentional or important or just something that leapt out at me, but the Elven Dancer lady is very like pulp noir novel. Like she's exactly the sort of person who would then become a client later on.
Or the killer.
Right. Or potentially the killer or potentially both.
Or both, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, this is where I start really getting into that pulp noir stuff.
Mhm.
So I'm glad that you picked up on that, Kurt.
Fantastic.
I actually think too, like by publishing like a log of all the people we meet, like I think that kind of goes in line with like what a mystery would be, where you have like tons of characters and you're trying to like draw the clues, and like maybe we'll have like this giant like map of Sharn that we're like trying to draw, like we can use to kind of try to draw the connections.
All right, so I will try to get that to you guys before next session. It's going to be probably bare bones, though. It'll have their name, a small description of where you met them, and maybe some discerning factors about their features or whatever. But yeah, I'm going to put a lot of it on you guys to try and remember the clues and pick those things up as characters and as players. And if there's some times where, you know, I feel like your character would remember, but you don't, I'll give you guys some of that slack. But yeah, so we'll try and navigate that as we go.
Sure.
So
All right.
let me make a note to myself to send you guys that sheet.
Yeah, and on the on fixing up the place, you don't have to like kill yourself itemizing every last thing we need.
Oh no, I'm not going to do that.
Yeah, just a gold piece amount to sort of get it into serviceable shape, including having like a sign for the red halo core. That's really all I need.
Okay. Send cost of repairs. And then also send me too some of the things that you're wanting to do with the place, since this is meant to be not just, you know, your new headquarters, but it should also function as a stronghold per the Strongholds and Followers handbook. So once you guys get it fixed up, then it'll function in that way. And you can decide what kind of stronghold it is. And then if there are any other additions that you want to build into the place, or if there are any other things that you want considered for the architecture or whatever, make sure you send me that too.
Well, we did learn
Okay.
that the neighborhood is ripe for a new casino.
Yeah, you just need to get it through the district council.
Or hide
be
it
underground.
upstairs. Right,
Yeah.
hide it on the second floor. All right, I'll talk to you guys later.
All right,
All right.
But
Night, everyone.
easy.
later, guys. What'd you think, Peter? Oh, you got it.